Hey guys, David here with a video tutorial, and in this one we're going to be talking about how to add a Twitter login system to your Meteor application. This might sound like a kind of difficult thing to do, but with Meteor it's actually one of the easiest things we can do. It will only take a few minutes to get up and running, so let's just jump straight into it. First we will create our Meteor project, or go into our Meteor directory, go Meteor, create Twitter example, and then we go into that project. And then we'll open up Sublime Text, which is my editor of choice, and we'll open up those files. Let's see, they're over here, Twitter example, boom. Okay, so what we're going to do first actually is go back to terminal, and we have to add a package to our project. And a package is basically an extension, like it adds functionality to our project, and we're going to add a login provider package to the project. And a login provider package is basically the back end of an account system. So if we wanted to have like a username and password for logging in, we'd use one package, but since we want to log in with a Twitter account, we'll use a different package. And that package is called accounts Twitter. So how we add this is we go meteor add accounts -Twitter, enter, and that's all we have to do. Just by using this command, we have a ton of functionality available to us, although it's not obvious straight away. To demonstrate this, we can just start the local server, we'll open it up in a browser, and nothing about what we're doing is going to seem remotely, remarkable. It's just going to be the regular default Meteor application, so nothing special there. You can't tell that it has an account system. And that's because, like I said before, we've added the back end to the project. We haven't created the front end. We haven't created the interface. And that's because we really have one of two options. We can either create our own interface, or we can just simply add another package to our project, and that'll be like a boilerplate interface that Meteor provides for us. So just to keep things simple, let's switch back to terminal, open up a new tab, go meteor add accounts-UI, and this is the package that will add user interface elements that relate to the accounts package. So go enter. Once again, adds in a few seconds. Still no changes on the front end, but now what we can do, and this is very cool, we go back to the editor, open up the HTML file, just wherever we want. We go double curly braces, less than symbol, or greater than symbol, sorry, and then login buttons. And this template, as you can see that we're including, is provided to us by the accounts UI package. So we don't make it ourselves, it's brought in by the package, and now we can reference it. And what happens when we save this file, as you will see in the browser, is we now have this login button basically. We do have to configure it first, which is why it says configure Twitter login, but once we do that, we'll be able to sign into our Meteor project through Twitter. Anyway, so let's click on that button, configure Twitter login, and you'll see a bunch of different steps you have to perform, so we can just do them right now. Well, they're pretty self-explanatory. So we'll go to the developer section of Twitter, we'll create an account, but I have to sign into my account for this actually to work. So I'll just sign into my personal account, and then we just create an example application, just put random text if you want, test application. Oh. Website is Meteor Tips. Some would say the best website in the world, and callback URL, make sure this is the right one, just copy and paste this, and boom, and then read that maybe if you want. Yes, I agree. Create your Twitter application. I'll take a few seconds, and then you'll get these API keys over here. This is the important part, and you shouldn't really show these details to people, so I'm going to delete this in a moment, but copy that over, save configuration, and there we go. That is it. We have a fully functional login system just like that. To prove this, we can go sign in with Twitter, and see, authorize app, it's going to be attached to my personal account, so we'll go authorize, and that is it. We have a Twitter login system. Now, obviously we have no features in the project itself that really make the most of this login system. Nothing happens if you're logged in or logged out, but that's what we'll do in a moment. Just before we get to that though, I want to show you something that's fairly fundamental to the account system. So just open up the JavaScript console, and basically when we added that accounts Twitter package, so the login provider package, it added a bunch of stuff on the back end, custom code, and it also added a collection. Basically a collection that's going to hold all the data for the users. To see this, we can actually just type in meteor.users, which is actually the name of the collection itself. Go enter, and there we go. This is our collection. It holds all the data for the users that log into our application. And because it's just a regular MongoDB collection within Meteor, we can do all the standard stuff like meteor.users.find.fetch. And then, this first user is just myself because I just logged in. And if we drill down, David Turnbull, that's my name. And then all the details associated with my account are in the collection. So it's just a completely standard collection. You can manipulate data, you can remove data, you can find the data, you can do everything with it as you normally would. The only difference is Meteor's doing a lot of the hard work for us. We don't really have to think about it a whole lot. Just to make this project a bit more interesting, though, we're going to make it so every single user that signs into this application will be shown in a list. And to do this, we can just switch back to Sublime Text, and we will go to the JavaScript file. We can get rid of all of this, but we will need that Meteor is client conditional, so this only runs on the client. We'll create a helper function, so we'll attach it to, actually we'll create a template first. Head back here, we'll create a template, name equals list, and we'll include that up here. Maybe move it beneath the login button so it's a bit more properly organized. Save that, head back here, attach a helper function to our list template. Let's call it user in, actually just call it user. And we'll make that equal to a function, and then within here we'll do the return statement where we can bring out all the different users in the collection. So go return meteor.users.find, and we'll just get every single one of them out of there. Save that, and then within our list template we can go each and each user and close it out. And then as for the field names, what we can do back here in the JavaScript console, I gave you a glimpse of this before. When we do the fetch, we can go narrow down in the object, and so the top level fields are ID, profile, and services. What we mainly want, actually what we want at first, is this profile name. But to access this name, we can't simply go name. That just won't work because there is no top level field called name. But if we go profile.name, then that should show up. And as you can see, it is. And then of course the same applies for all the other fields, so we can just look through that, and we've got services.twitter, and this is how we access the screen name, the profile image URL, those kind of details. And then we can easily go services.twitter.screen name, and that should make the screen name show up, and it just did, and you might want to put a little @ symbol in front of that just to clarify what it is. And then we can put all of this in a list just to make it a bit better formatted. Not that it's going to be a pretty application in the slightest, because I'm not going to bother with any of that. And then just to add a bit more color to the interface, we'll add the image of like the profile picture, and that can be found at services.twitter.profile image _URL, and that should be all we need. And I just forgot the E, so we'll save that, and then now it should appear. So it's still not the prettiest application in the world, but I want to add one last feature in which you will only see the list of users if you're logged in. Because at the moment we can sign out of the account and we can still see this list of users. If we don't want anonymous users to see this list though, what we can do is switch back to the template, and then just around this list template we can go if current user, and then we'll just close out that if conditional. So because of the account's Twitter package, we can reference this current user object, and if the current user is logged in, it returns true, and if the current user is logged out, it returns false, meaning this conditional will only return true if the current user is logged in. And just by saving this, you will see that the list disappears because I'm not logged in at the moment. But just to make it so a message appears within the interface if you're not logged in, we'll use this else conditional and go, you're not logged in. Close that out, save the file, and that message now appears. But if you switch back to the browser, sign in with Twitter once again, just wait till it loads, authorize app, and then you'll see the list in a moment. And that about does it. There is a ton to learn about creating account systems within Meteor, but the best thing about the system is that it's just so quick to get started. So even though we've only covered a fraction of the details in this video, you can do quite a lot with it, and hopefully you're kind of inspired to start exploring it yourself.